user research anywhere in the world will tell you that most people's relationship with money is one of anxiety, right? Because you don't really talk about money so much in most families. You don't really think about the tools you need. Most people aren't trained in financial education in any sense. And it all adds up to this context where money is a thing, but despite the fact that it's such a crucial part of our lives, it's an enabler of so much of what we do, and not just in the moment. Of course, money helps you buy the pint at the bar, but it's also an enabler of future generations, right? It's also an enabler of so much more that as an industry, banking should be helping customers make sense of it.
I really want people to leave here with a good understanding of some things that they can do right now, but also, if you wouldn't mind, one thing that we should all stop doing when it comes to our finances.
3 things that everybody can do, like right this second. Go into your Monzo app and think about something that you want to save towards, create a pot for it, and move some money into it. Doesn't matter how much it is. Get started. Right? Create a pot, call it what you want to, and start that process. The second thing I would do is help people get on the journey on making long-term investing decisions. So the second thing you can do is create an investment pot, and doesn't matter. You can start it with as little as £1. Start investing, because investing compounds, and better still, set it up as a regular investing where whether it's 50 quid or 100 quid or whatever that amount is every month, let it go into your investment account so that it starts the journey of compounding. And the third thing, which is kind of, almost the first thing you should do, is start to think about setting a financial goal. It doesn't matter when financial goal sounds like this huge, big, daunting thing, but I'm not saying a 20-year goal. Maybe it's a 6-month goal. Maybe it's something that says, okay, I want to do that thing. I want this to be true in 6 months, and have that conversation. Because honestly, the first conversation you have, I think, starts to unlock your relationship with money. Because it's very daunting to do that first thing, because most people are like, oh my God, what will I discover if I start to have that conversation? It's hard. Have it. Have it with a best friend, have it with your partner, have it with yourself, but just get started.
And the one thing we should stop doing?
I think what we should all stop doing is thinking about money as this complex, abstract, amorphous lump. I think we should think about money in little buckets, in pots, in compartments that allow us to think about different needs: budgeting, borrowing, saving, spending, investing, insurance, like all of those things. Like, give it a little bit more granularity, because it can make more sense, and it can put you more in control. When it feels like this big, dark, looming thing somewhere on the side, you can't make the first move. The irony is that technology actually enables you to do it. So at Monzo, that's what we're obsessed with, right? How do I put better tools in the hands of a customer so that they can make better choices, right? How do we make them understand money in a way that takes away the anxiety, right? How do we help customers actually set a financial goal, even if it is as sort of near term as saying, I want to save for a Christmas holiday, right? How do you do those things in a way that abstract out the anxiety and the complexity, and instead give you the ability to understand it? And then through the magical power of design, the way we design every user journey, make it very human as well.
We're talking in the UK. I'm British. You live in London. Is this a UK thing, or do you think this is a global issue?
It's global. It manifests itself in different ways. In other cultures, it manifests itself because somehow money is seen as a cheaper aspect of life, right? One should live above money, right? Money can't buy you love, right? So there's things like that. Lots for a combination of different reasons that, dial themselves up in different cultures. Money is not something that people talk about. Money is not something families talk about. Right? I don't know what it was like for you and your family, but most families don't talk about how to think about money and budgeting and so on. You know when your family is hard up, and you know when your family is wealthy, but that's the level of abstraction at which it sits. And in different cultures, you see, there's some communities in each culture, right? Typically tending to be sort of small business communities where money becomes a thing in the family that they talk about. But even then, it's in the context of business money, right? How do we make more money? How do we sell more? That type of stuff. It's about the business, but it's not really about money.
So what should we be talking to our children about to prepare them for that moment when they're out in the world of work?
At the beginning, you should take away the taboo of talking about money. Right? And acknowledge that, look, money is an important part of life. It's an enabler of so many things that go into your life: the dreams, aspirations, lifestyles, choices you make, things you can do, all of that, right? So it's okay to talk about money. It's okay to actually think about it in a way that helps you make good choices. So that's the second piece, good choices. What does that mean, right? Without any judgment, good choices should be about whatever helps you get farther along with your goals, right? I can't judge what's a good choice for you. Might be a terrible choice for me and the other way around, right? But depending on what your goals are, the choices you make should help you get closer to it. Right? So just starting to think about that. As I said, it could be as near term as saying, look, I want to save up to buy a new PlayStation for a kid, right? Or for someone else, it's a down payment on a house. Or for someone else, it's, rainy day money, whatever that thing is. Bring it out into the open and have the tools to manage it.
We'll carry on the conversation in just a moment. But first, if I asked you to picture AI in action, I reckon you'd think of a large language model or something that you think optimizes your own personal productivity. But have you stopped to think about the impact that AI actually has on the big industries? Industries like aviation, manufacturing, construction, and energy. The kind of businesses that we interact with every single day that rely on AI without us even being aware of it. Let's take service management. Did you know 2 billion people a day use elevators and walkways maintained and serviced with IFS.ai? Industrial AI is IFS.ai. I've been working with IFS for years. I know them really well. I've seen the impact up close and personal, and I'm so proud that they're partnering with Room Where It Happened on this show. And if you're like me and your business deals with assets and you want to deliver the very best class service to your people and your customers, please check them out at ifs.ai. Proud partners of Room Where It Happened.
We built this tool 3 or 4 years ago called the gambling block. It was built on the back of a customer talking to our contact center, and they had lost a lot of money the previous night gambling online. And it was just this throwaway thing about the fact that they wish they had that someone had stopped them from it, right? So in a matter of days, we built this tool and shipped it, right? Which allowed customers to put a block in their account on their ability to top up an online gambling account. Now it's your money, you can top it up, but you set the cooling off period. So as little as 2 days, as much as 1 year. You decide what the cooling off looks like so that in the heat of the moment, you're not saying, okay, just another 50 quid, let me see what happens, right? So it's a tool, zero judgment. You don't have to turn it on. You decide if it's a relevant tool for you, and you decide what boundaries you want to set around it, right? But we make the tool available. 700,000 customers have signed up for that tool, right? It tells you the scale of course, how many people feel like they need it, but the impact that it has then. And only 10% of people have ever turned it off, right? And here's how we bring, this other thing that I should talk about, which is you take all of the tools that I'm describing, which all, tech-driven tools, but then you layer in the human aspect of it, right? The human aspect of it with a tool like Gambling Block is letting our customers choose a catchphrase that they write that plays itself to them when they decide to unblock. So I'm doing this for Emily's future.
Right. Wow.
Right. So now think about
you're mirroring up the technology with the sort of human response. Yeah.
Because it is a human moment, right? We've taken money and made it this dry thing for centuries, but money is a part of our human lived experience. It's an enabler of our human lived experience, and therefore we connect that with magical design. Right. So I want you in that moment as a customer to feel like, okay, I've got a real tool that I can use that helps me achieve my financial goals. And by the way, that tool is not some dry abstract thing. It's human. It sees me. It knows what I need, and it helps me build it for myself. We're not picking the catchphrase. The customer's writing it, right?